Budgies, known scientifically as Melopsittacus undulatus, are a widespread small parrot native to Australia. They are found in homes all over the world. It's thought by many that they are the third most numerous pet kept by humans, following dogs and cats, of course. Their small size, cute antics, and charming personality are just three of the many reasons why they make excellent pets. Budgies are calm, they are quiet compared to larger birds, they do not require large cages, their dietary needs can easily be met. A good quality pelleted diet supplemented with a fresh seed mix, millet sprays, chopped green vegetables such as broccoli, collards, kale, and herbs like parsley, along with some grated carrots or squash, is really all that they need. They will enjoy other foods, even some that you eat, such as cooked pasta or cooked rice, but they don't need that. Their caging requirements are minimal compared to many of the larger parrots like cockatoos, macaws, African greys, and Amazon parrots. A cage only 24 inches wide is plenty of room for the little parakeets to hop around and even fly back and forth if their flight feathers are not trimmed. The larger the cage, the better though. Always buy the largest cage that you can afford and that you have room in your home. They will utilize every cubic inch of cage space that you give them. They'll even like to come out of their cage, socialize with you, and fly around and spend time in the room with you. You need to make sure that the room has been bird-proofed. Windows and mirrors and ceiling fans, those all pose a problem. So make sure that you put curtains up and turn the fans off. Make sure your doors are locked. It's not a good idea to keep them in kitchens or bathrooms. There's too many chemicals and fumes in there. And of course, a stove in the kitchen is going to be very dangerous for them. You need to make sure that the cage has plenty of doors on it that allow easy access so that you can get into the cage to clean, change out food and water, change out toys and perches, and just to interact with your bird. Speaking of toys are very important. The one you see in the cage in the back, that is not a cloth or a rope toy. Those are paper streamers. Lots of people like to use ropes and fleece in the bird's cage, and those all can be very dangerous. The fibers of those can be wrapped around their toenails or the wings or even their neck and strangle the bird. Even if those things don't happen, the bird can ingest the fibers and it can cause an impaction in the digestive system. So things like rope perches and happy huts that the birds sleep in are not to be recommended. In fact, I discourage them greatly. You do need to make sure that there are a variety of perches in the cage. The variety of perches meaning that there's lots of places that the bird can sit and stand on, climb around on. Ladders and swings are a good addition to the cage. Natural perches made out of tree branches are to be desired above plastic perches. The dowel perches that are made of slick wood are okay if they are supplemented with other natural perches. Also, you can put a small perch in made out of concrete or other type of minerals such as plaster of Paris, and the birds can use those to help to grind down the tips of the toenails. Some of the trade names for those are called sandy perches, and it's just a perch covered in a sand-like material, and those help to file down the tips of the bird's nails. All kinds of toys can be used for the birds. Make sure that they are good, safe toys. Again, I cannot stress and emphasize enough not to use things made out of ropes or cloth. If you're going to make your own toys, don't use things like clothespins or shower hooks to try to attach the toys together into the cages. Don't use paper clips or rusty bits of wire. You want to make sure that everything is extremely safe for the little parakeet. Your budgie is going to appreciate spending time with you, especially if it is a single pet. If you don't have a couple of hours every day to devote to your budgie's health and well-being, then maybe you should consider getting a second budgie. Yep, get your parakeet a pet parakeet. 2 parakeets are going to be much happier than just a single parakeet. Hands down, without a doubt. It's often thought that if you keep 2 birds together, that they will not bond with you. And while that may be true, that does not mean that they will not seek you out for interaction and attention if properly trained. 2 parakeets are going to be an immense joy to one another, and you're going to love seeing them interact with one another. They are happier, they're healthier, they're going to live longer lives. Now, why should you choose a parakeet over other parrots? Well, again, they're easier to accommodate, they're easier to feed, they're cheaper, they're quieter. Unfortunately, they don't live as long as most of the bigger parrots. They'll probably outlive a zebra finch or a canary, or even most commonly kept doves as pets, but they're not going to live as long as a macaw or a cockatoo. 15 to 20 years is a very long life. Now here are these 3. It's a boy is in the middle, and then there are 2 girls in here. On these you can tell the difference because of the color of their noses. On the boys, a mature boy, it's bright blue, and on a female, it's a pale purpley color or brown color. On a fully mature female, like the white one on the right, it may even be a little bit raised up. That's perfectly normal. That is not necessarily a sign of mites. That is just that she is in breeding condition. She loves that boy there in the middle. And so when I take them out, I'm going to put them into a flight cage by themselves. I would open up this door in the front so that we're not looking through the wires, but you know what would happen? They would just fly right out. Also, I want to show you what these are the normal, what we call parakeets here in the United States. Now these are known as shell parakeets in Australia because the pattern on the back of a normal green one has a shell pattern. It looks kind of like striations on a seashell. And you can kind of see on that blue one in the middle the little stripes back there. In Australia, the native Aboriginal name for these is Budgies, and I have read that that means good to eat. What an awful, awful thing to name these sweet little birds after. But in Britain, they call them Budgies. And here in America, what we call an English budgie is a great big giant bird bred for exhibition. And I'm going to pan over and show you those. Now look how much bigger those are. Now these are 2 boys. Look how huge that green one is. Now his name is Jade, and this other one, his name is Marbles. He is a violet spangle. He has a different pattern on his back, and of course that's Miss Lolita in the background. She is our yellow-naped Amazon. But just look at how big these guys are. Now these make excellent pets if taken care of properly. I wish I could get them side-by-side comparison so you can see the difference in size of these, how much bigger they are. That big green one, Jade there, he is as big, if not bigger, than a cockatiel. Let's see if we can get that out and we'll show you. Now this is Dusty. He's a pet cockatiel that we have. And look, if we can get him closer. Now, he is definitely about the same size is that green budgie. What do you think about that, Lolita? Here, step up, Dusty. Here. No, he wants to go over. You can't go over and play with Moose. Moose will not like that. Catherine's here. Say hello. Catherine is Moose's human. But Dusty is a beautiful little cockatiel. Moose, of course, is a beautiful macaw. And Catherine is a beautiful little princess daughter. But look at these budgies. And Lolita. And over here. Uh-oh. Whoopsie. And over here we have the little pet store parakeets that are just as cute and wonderful as can possibly be. And we love them all very, very much. Catherine, what do you tell our friends when we're closing a video?